Have you ever wondered what your horse would say if you could talk? Not forever, just for 5 minutes. What would he complain about first? The saddle? The bit? Baths? Maybe. But honestly, I think most horses would choose something much simpler. And some of the answers might be a little uncomfortable. Because many of the things humans consider normal don't make much sense from a horse's point of view. So let's imagine your horse finally gets the chance to speak. Here are 5 things he would probably change about his life. Number 1. You only visit when you want something. Let's start with an easy one. Imagine you had a friend, and every single time that friend called you, they wanted something. A favor, help moving furniture, a ride to the airport, money. Every time, no exceptions. Eventually, you'd start noticing a pattern. And honestly, horses notice patterns too. For many horses, the owner only appears when it's time to work. The saddle comes out, the halter comes out, the trailer arrives, the training session begins. And while most horses are perfectly willing to work, many of them would probably appreciate seeing you when there isn't an agenda. Sometimes just showing up matters. A few minutes of grooming, a walk, scratching an itchy spot, standing quietly together. Because relationships aren't built only when we ask for something. They're also built when we simply spend time together. And speaking of things horses weren't designed for, there's something else they would probably change immediately. 2. Being alone is weird. Humans often enjoy being alone. Horses generally don't, because horses evolved as herd animals. For thousands of years, survival depended on staying with other horses. More eyes, more ears, more safety. In a herd, one horse notices danger and everybody benefits. Alone? You're responsible for everything. That's why some horses become nervous when separated. Why they call out. Why they pace. Why they seem anxious. From a horse's perspective, being alone doesn't feel peaceful. It can feel risky. Now, not every horse needs a giant herd, but most horses do better with some kind of companionship. Another horse, a pony, sometimes even a donkey. Because being social isn't a luxury for horses, it's part of what they are. And if being alone feels strange, there's something else that feels even stranger. Number 3. Hay is not optional. Humans eat meals. Horses graze. That's a huge difference. A horse's digestive system was designed around the idea of eating small amounts almost constantly. Not breakfast, not lunch, not dinner. All day. When horses are grazing naturally, they're chewing for hours, sometimes most of the day. But many domestic horses spend long periods with nothing to eat. And from a horse's perspective, that makes very little sense. Imagine somebody gave you all your food for the day, in 10 minutes, then told you to wait until tomorrow. Not ideal. For horses, forage is more than food. It's activity, it's comfort, it's routine. It's part of how their digestive system functions. So if horses could vote on one thing, more hay would probably win by a landslide. But there's another thing horses would definitely have an opinion about. And honestly, they'd probably be right. Number 4. You leave me standing around, then expect me to behave. This one is funny, because humans are often surprised by it. Let's say you leave me standing around for days. Not much movement, not much exercise, not much to do. Then one day you suddenly appear. You saddle me up, you climb on, and you expect me to behave like an experienced yoga instructor. Really? Horses were designed to move. Not for 30 minutes, not for an hour, for most of the day. Movement is connected to almost everything. Muscles, digestion, circulation, mental well-being, even hoof health. So when a horse explodes with energy after being confined, that shouldn't be surprising. In fact, the surprising thing would be if he didn't. Sometimes the horse isn't being difficult. Sometimes the horse is simply being a horse. And if I've spent 3 days storing energy, there's a decent chance I'm going to run, buck, leap, spook at a leaf, or maybe introduce you to the ground. Not because I hate you, because I have enough energy to power a small city. And that brings us to the last thing, a small detail that almost every horse owner does. Number 5. Please stop smacking my neck. Humans do this all the time. Good job, pat, pat, pat. Good horse, pat, pat, pat. And don't get me wrong, I know you're trying to be nice. But here's the funny thing. Horses don't really do that with each other. When horses interact socially, they're much more likely to groom one another. They scratch, rub, nibble gently. They focus on places that are difficult to reach. The neck, the withers, the chest. That's why you'll often see horses standing side by side, scratching each other. It's relaxing. It's enjoyable. It's social. Meanwhile, repeated smacking on the neck is mostly a human invention. Some horses tolerate it. Some ignore it. Some learn to associate it with praise. But if you really want to make many horses happy, try finding their favorite scratching spot. You might be surprised by the reaction. Some will stretch their neck. Some will lean into your hand. Some will practically ask for more. And honestly, that's probably the closest thing to a horse saying, "Yes, that's the spot." So what would your horse actually change if he could? Maybe not the saddle. Maybe not the trailer. Maybe not the weather. Maybe he'd simply ask for a life that makes a little more sense to a horse. A little more movement. A little more forage. A little more companionship. A little more understanding. And maybe that's the real lesson. The better we understand horses, the easier it becomes to meet the needs they can't explain with words. If your horse could talk for 5 minutes, what do you think he'd complain about first? Let me know in the comments. And if you enjoy learning about horse behavior and seeing the world from a horse's perspective, subscribe to Acuni, give this video a like, and join us for the next one. Because horses have been telling us things all along. We're just getting better at listening.